Marcus Rashford suitors think they can get a better deal now because of Ruben Amorim's comments at the weekend. The fact is they think they can get him for lower wages and potentially a lower loan fee if there is any. As the days tick on, though, do you think he'll get this move away?
I think certainly the dialogue coming out of Manchester United isn't exactly protecting his value. It's coming across a little bit desperate. Not maybe desperate's the wrong word, but like everyone knows that they don't want Marcus Rashford to be there. Marcus Rashford's obviously done an interview as well saying he'd be keen for a new challenge. So from Manchester United's perspective, I don't think they're in the strongest position. I still think he'll end up staying. We're 28 days into January now, and I've said I think this is going to be a very difficult transfer/loan to go through. I think there's a lot of complexities around it, especially when you look at Marcus Rashford's salary. For any club to even take 50% of that salary is a big ask. We know in January it's a difficult market anyway. A lot of clubs simply don't have that kind of wage that they can pay. It doesn't fit into a lot of clubs' wage structure. So I still think the most likely option here is that Marcus Rashford ends up staying, and then from there's got to be some bridges built from somewhere, because he's never been fully banished from Manchester United. This is very different to the Sancho situation of last year, where Sancho wasn't really allowed in the building, was he, to train with the first team, to see the first team. There was kind of a complete breakdown of the relationship. Because he's still training with the first team, I still feel like there is a way back for Marcus Rashford, but something needs to change because he can't go on like this. But I honestly still think he'll stay at Manchester United.
Let's get to Alejandro Garnacho. Dan mentioned it there. Napoli set to resume talks with Manchester United over Garnacho. Now, Napoli want to get an agreement in principle with the winger and his representatives. United would be reluctant sellers, but are not in a financial position to turn down a sizable offer for him. Dan, when we got this news yesterday, for me it felt like it feels more likely that United are going to try and get this deal over the line simply because of the financial position they're in right now. So do you think he's going to stay, or do you think he's going to leave?
I'm the opposite to what I think about Rashford. I think Garnacho will go, because I think there's opportunities there for him to go. I think there's a natural fit at Chelsea if he decides to go there, or a natural fit at Napoli, given in mind who's left them this summer. That's a completely different situation to Rashford, where things feel a little bit more complicated. I think he'd fit in at both teams. He doesn't necessarily fit with Manchester United at the moment and the way they're trying to line up. I think the good thing for him is that he's applying himself. All the noise coming out of the Manchester United camp is that even though there's this speculation over his future, he's doing the right things, he's displaying the right attitude. So if he does stay, he'll be no problem at all. But I think if you look at what Chelsea need and look at what Napoli need, I actually think for Garnacho now, there might be better places for him to play his football, because quite simply Amorim's system, there is no natural fit. He's not a wing-back, he's not an inside 10. So long term for Manchester United, where's he going to play? Whereas I think Chelsea and Napoli, there's openings there for him.
An update has emerged about Manchester United's quest to sign Brentford star Mbeumo. United have been locked in talks with the Bees to sign Mbeumo for several weeks as they aim to bring the forward to Old Trafford. An opening offer worth £55 million was rejected before a second bid worth more than £60 million was also turned down by Brentford. Despite the setbacks, United have maintained the confidence that they can reach an agreement to sign Mbeumo this summer. United will travel to Sweden this weekend for their first pre-season friendly of the summer before making the trip to the United States later this month. However, amid continued speculation about Mbeumo's future, an update has emerged about the Cameroon international's future. A report in The Athletic has claimed that United and Brentford are still no closer to agreeing a fee for Mbeumo. It has been reported that there is a considerable gap between the two clubs in the negotiations for a player who scored 20 Premier League goals last season. United and Brentford are said to be still in talks over a deal for Mbeumo despite the difference in valuation for the player. The Reds and the player are believed to still be keen to get a deal over the line that would see the 25-year-old complete a move to Old Trafford. Mbeumo could still go on to become a United player this summer, where he could join Matheus Cunha in boosting Ruben Amorim's squad this summer. The Brazilian, who arrived in a £62.5 million deal from Wolves, remains United's only signing this summer, with Diego Leon arriving from Cerro Porteño in a move that was agreed earlier this year. Manchester United have reportedly made a move for Palmeiras midfielder Richard Rios, who could replace Casemiro. Italian outlet Gazzetta dello Sport, via Centre Devils, reports that the Red Devils have stepped up their interest in Rios and taken concrete steps towards bringing the Colombian to Old Trafford. He has long been on the club's radar amid a meteoric rise in Brazil. Rios has been the subject of a £22 million bid from AS Roma, but Palmeiras are demanding £26 million for the 25-year-old. He caught the eye while at the ongoing FIFA Club World Cup, and United set to rival the Italian giants for his signature. United have made a slow start to a much-needed rebuild, with only Matheus Cunha arriving at the club thus far. The Brazilian attacker was signed from Wolverhampton Wanderers earlier this summer in a £62.5 million deal. The Red Devils transfer chiefs are still working on a deal for Mbeumo after having two bids worth up to £62.5 million rejected for the Brentford forward. They also appear to be keen on strengthening Amorim's midfield following Christian Eriksen's departure. Rios has flourished at Palmeiras and boasts a box-to-box profile that could suit Amorim's side, which needs a major overhaul. He is impressed with his dribbling abilities and passing range while possessing a superb engine room. Amorim puts a particular emphasis on his midfielders being able to cover ground, and this is one of the 21-cap Colombia international's main attributes. He is also versatile, able to operate in both attacking and defensive midfield. Casemiro's future is uncertain despite the veteran Brazilian midfielder returning to Carrington ahead of the club's pre-season tour of the United States. There have been reports suggesting the Red Devils have held talks with Saudi Pro League giants Al Nassr to sell the 33-year-old. Rios, who Ben Mattinson says is a freak athlete, is one of several midfielders who have been linked, with Bayern Munich's João Palhinha also a potential target. Reports claim that the club have made initial inquiries over a potential £25 to £30 million deal for the former Fulham star.